Okay, so are the Golden State Warriors actually back? Like championship contending back?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Or, was that game one win just kind of making things look better than they are?
Right, because here's the thing that jumps out.
Hmm.
They held the Houston Rockets, team that scores a lot, to just 85 points.
85. That's their lowest score all season.
Exactly. So how on earth did they pull that off? And what does it really tell us about the rest of the playoffs?
Yeah, that's what we're diving into today.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're digging into that Warriors Game 1 win over the Rockets.
Trying to figure out the key stuff, what really mattered and what it means for Houston moving forward.
Our mission, basically, is to cut through the noise. What does this single game really reveal about where these teams stand?
It definitely felt like a statement win, didn't it? Especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Totally.
Our sources, looking at this game, they're saying the Warriors didn't just win, they controlled the whole feel of the game.
And here's a wild stat. It's the first time all season the Warriors won scoring 95 points or less.
Think about that. This super high-powered offense winning with defense, what does that signal to you? Does it make them more dangerous?
It feels like it, yeah. Like they have another gear, another way to win now.
Mm-hmm.
Holding that Rockets offense to 85, that's pretty shocking, honestly.
Yeah.
Their worst game all year.
And it wasn't an accident. The analysis points to a really specific defensive plan.
Yeah, like suffocating them out on the perimeter.
Exactly. Forcing really tough shots, making them uncomfortable, and getting turnovers off that pressure.
And the numbers back it up. Houston shot, what was it, under 40%?
Yeah, 39.1% overall. And threes, forget about it, like 20.6%, just ice cold.
Oof, that's rough.
And it felt like they really zeroed in on Houston's guards.
Green and Van Vliet?
Yeah. The guys who usually get their offense started, they combined for just 17 points.
17 points on how many shots?
34 attempts combined. So like 7 for 34 shooting between them.
Wow. Was that just like lockdown Warriors D, or were those guys just having a really bad night?
Probably a bit of both, But the confidence you hear about the Warriors' defense, it feels real.
Rooted in smart players,
Yeah.
and obviously Draymond Green anchoring everything.
He's the quarterback back there for sure. It feels like they knew exactly what they wanted to do defensively and just executed.
But even with that great team defense,
Yeah.
you got to talk about Steph Curry.
Oh, absolutely. He was Steph Curry. Leading scorer, hitting those ridiculous threes when they needed them most.
Yeah, killing that 23-point comeback attempt the Rockets made.
Draymond didn't mince words afterwards, did he? Called him the GOAT.
He did. And specifically mentioned that, like, insane deep three that just felt like a backbreaker.
And his line was, typical Curry brilliance. 31 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, a steal.
Scored almost a third of their points.
And it wasn't like Houston didn't try to stop him. They threw different looks at him.
Oh, yeah. Amin Thompson, Van Vliet, even Dillon Brooks tried.
And none of it really worked consistently. He just finds ways.
It's kind of the core problem for any team facing them, isn't it? How do you actually slow him down?
There's this amazing stat, too. The main guy guarding Curry, he held that player to 4 for 16 shooting.
Seriously?
Yeah, apparently the lowest field goal percentage allowed by any defender who contested at least 15 shots. Like, league-wide in that specific context.
That's nuts. And then you have Jimmy Butler calling him Batman.
Huh. Yeah, the comes out of nowhere, does incredible things analogy.
Saying Curry is basically the reason they'll win.
It does raise a question, though, doesn't it? Relying so much on one guy's brilliance, is that sustainable deep in the playoffs?
That's definitely something to watch. But speaking of Jimmy Butler, we can't skip over his game either.
No way. He was fantastic, really filled the stat sheet.
What was it, 25 points?
7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals.
5 steals. That's a massive debut performance for a Warrior in the playoffs.
Historically good, actually. Only the 4th Warrior since, like, the mid-70s to put up that specific line.
Wow. What does that tell you about how he's fitting in?
Well, the team record since he joined is pretty telling, isn't it? 25-7.
Yeah, that's a huge impact. He seems like the perfect Robin to Curry's Batman on offense.
Definitely gives them that reliable second option, someone who can create.
And you mentioned playing Robin to Draymond on defense, too.
Yeah.
Which fits, right, with those steals.
Yeah, he contributed big time to their 14 total steals and those 25 points off turnovers.
It just makes him feel more complete, more versatile now with him there.
Feels that way. That two-way ability is crucial. He connects Curry's offense and Green's defense.
But even after all that good defense, Draymond still wasn't completely satisfied.
Right. He brought up the rebounding, didn't he? Specifically the offensive glass for Houston.
Yeah, said the Rockets got 22 offensive rebounds.
And Green called it their MOO, basically saying sometimes that's their best offense. Second chance points.
Why focus on that after such a dominant win, though?
Because he knows, right? Against a team like Houston, you give them extra chances, it can bite you. He said something like they rebound 60% of their misses.
Which is probably an exaggeration, but it feels that way sometimes.
Exactly. So even in a win, he's spotting the potential weaknesses. Which brings us to Charles Barkley.
Chuck. Never changed.
Still doesn't believe, huh? Picking the Rockets to win the series even after Game 1.
Yeah, he's sticking with the talent argument. Home court for Houston.
And he doubts Curry can keep this level up against Houston's physicality for 7 games.
He mentioned watching how they're trying to stay glued to Curry, the bumping, the holding.
Yeah.
Thinks it'll wear him down.
It's not a crazy thought, is it? That constant pressure is taxing?
No, it's a valid concern. It takes a huge toll.
Yeah.
But it's also Steph Curry we're talking about. He's dealt with this his whole career.
True. And Curry's even kind of clapped back defending Butler against some of Chuck's comments.
Oh, yeah. What'd he say?
Just emphasizing Butler can create for himself and others and that their chemistry is good. Showed some nice teammate support there.
Good to see. So, okay, let's zoom out. What's the big picture takeaway from just this one game?
Is it just Game 1, or did it really show us something fundamental?
I think it showed that the Warriors, playing like this, are a genuine problem for anyone.
Yeah, the defense was great, collectively. But the Curry factor? It just breaks defenses.
Like one source said, players like him just make schemes irrelevant sometimes, and we saw that.
Even if he has an off night shooting, you still feel like he can hit the dagger, right?
Always. So this win feels like a statement. It sets a tone, puts them back in that contender conversation maybe.
So back to our first question then. Are they back? Or is this more about the huge problem Houston now has trying to solve them?
What stood out most to you listening to all this? Do you think the Rockets can actually adjust and handle Curry in this defense?
We want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts below. And hey, if you found this deep dive useful, like it, subscribe, you know the drill. Stick around for more analysis.
And here's something to think about. This reliance on Curry, his sheer brilliance, is that ultimately their biggest strength? Or could it, down the line, become a weakness some team finds a way to exploit?
Good question to chew on.